Hello guys, welcome to Filament Daily. We recently launched a new premium project on our filamentexamples.com combining three features: generating PDF invoice, then downloading the file from your browser, or sending to a client, to a customer. And we wrapped those three features in this premium project, which is available for members if you access all examples. But traditionally on YouTube, I summarize the things from premium projects into what you need to know, how those features work generally. So let's dive into the demo and into the code. So this is the actual project. You create invoice, you fill in the form, for example, with fake Philochrome extension. For simplicity, we limited the invoice for just one line of price and product, and we create the invoice. Create it, and then you have two buttons here, download and send invoice. If you click download, here's the file downloaded here, and here's how it looks as a PDF. A very simple example, nothing really fancy with design or anything, because of course every PDF would be different for different invoice structures, so your example for your project would be different. Our goal is just to show the principle. And then you can also send the invoice via email to someone, which in this case would be the email of the customer that you fill in here in the form. So let's dive into the code, how it works. First, generating of the invoice comes in two parts: generating the data, so database record with invoice number generated automatically, and then the PDF generator. And this both happens on Eloquent level in Laravel outside of Filament. So Filament resource doesn't change in terms of form submission, but all the logic is in the Eloquent model of invoice. On booted method, we create serial number. For example, this is just one of the possible logic options. We generate the serial number from max serial number with some string manipulation and add ABC as a prefix. So this is done before the record is saved into the database. Creating is the method name, not created. This is important. And then on created, when the record is in the database already, we do have that as invoice model object, and then we generate a job, which ideally comes to the queue, because generating PDF usually takes a few seconds. And then in the job inside we have this. Let's close the sidebar so you'd see everything. So we build that PDF from blade view, which is invoice, which is HTML showing all the invoice data, something hard-coded from your company data, and then showing the price and the total and stuff like that in HTML. And to produce PDF from that, we use a library called, if we go to Composer.json, Barry VDH, Laravel DOM PDF. You can use other PDF libraries like Spotty Browser Shot or others, but for simple invoices without too much customizations, I think this is good enough. We generate the random file name and we store that, and we update the invoice record in the database with the file name, and then our job is completed. So at this point, again, if we go into invoice model, this takes care of the PDF generation and the model saving. Now download and send via email. This is in the Filament resource. So we have invoice resource, form is irrelevant for this video, and in table actions we have two custom actions. First, download. It's visible only if the file name exists, which means that the queue job has successfully finished. Maybe it hasn't, maybe there was some error. And then the action itself is just response download file from storage, which means it's not public, so you cannot access it just from typing some URL in the browser. You can just download it from this action, which should be of course protected by other roles and permissions. And how it works in the browser you already saw a minute ago. And then send invoice via email, same logic for visibility, and then mail to customer email, and we have send invoice with record as a parameter, and that send invoice is a mailable. And this uses the syntax which was introduced quite recently in Laravel 10 from what I remember: envelope, content, and attachments. And here we have the attachment with the PDF that we generated just a few minutes ago. So yeah, this is an example of how you need to combine the knowledge of Laravel for stuff like mailables, like booted method in the model, like generating PDFs with a package, like generating the invoice number and the prefix. So all that is Laravel. And then Filament is just the layer to show those buttons and fill in the forms. And to be honest, I see more and more projects that we've been doing with the team, and I see more questions on official Filament Discord which are not that much about Filament, but whenever someone wants to customize Filament more deeply, they eventually bump into Laravel features. This is just kind of my philosophical side note. So this is the practical example. If you want the full source, as usual, it is available for members of filamentexamples.com. You can access all examples, so you would be invited to the GitHub for $99 per year. We've changed the pricing recently. It is yearly membership now, or lifetime price is $199 for all the projects, one-time payment, and includes other future projects that we release on the same GitHub. That's it for this time, and see you guys in other videos.